Hello and welcome back to Global Math Mentor. We are solving SAT Practice Test 6 Math Module 1 from the official College Board material. Quick disclaimer. This is strictly for educational purposes to help you prepare better. Let's break it down together question by question. Question 1. So you can see this linear equation. What value of P is the solution to the given equation? So you can quickly solve this. If you expand the bracket, it's going to be 11 and 10. So P should be -1. A is the correct answer. Question 2. The scatter plot shows the relationship between two variables x and y. The scatter plot is shown. Which of the following graphs shows the most appropriate model for the data? So this data is shown and A is incorrect. It represents some linear model, but you can see that actual data is not linear. It is increasing and exponential. So B is incorrect as well. C does not contain all the points, so this will be incorrect as well. So D is the correct answer. This is the most appropriate model for this given data. Question 3, we are given a quadratic equation, k squared minus 53 equals to 91. What is the positive solution to the given equation? There are some options. Well, solving equations were never this easier. Let's go to the graphing calculator and type in the correct equation, x squared minus 53, and put it equal to 91. You can see there's a graph. It's intersecting the x-axis at 2 points. There's 12 and a -12. So we need the positive one. So D is the correct answer. Question 4. During a portion of a flight, a small airplane's cruising speed, so this is speed, varied between 150 miles per hour and 170 miles per hour. Which inequality best represents this situation where S is the cruising speed in miles per hour? So S is max 170 and minimum 150. So D is the correct answer. Question 5. An object was launched upwards from a platform. The graph shown models the height above ground y in meters of the object x seconds after it was launched. So this is height against time. We can see it doesn't start at 0. It starts somewhere else because it was thrown from a platform. For which of the following intervals of the time was the height of the object increasing for the entire interval? So for increasing, you just need to check like from 0 to 2. So this is the portion where the height increases. At 2, it becomes max, and after that, it drops. So A is the correct answer. Question 6. How many yards are equivalent to 1,116 inches? And they have given us the conversion scale, so you can use proportion for such problems, yard and inches. So 1 yard is 36 inches, so 1116 will be how many? So you can just suppose that x cross multiply, and x will be 1116 divide 36. So let's get this value. So 1116 divide 36. So that's 31 yards. That is the correct answer. Question 7. The function f represents the total cost. So this function you see is a cost function in dollars of attending an arcade when X games are played. So this is the number of game played, and fx is a function showing the cost. How many games can be played for the total cost of $58? So the function's value is 58, and this is 14 plus 4x. So you can either solve this linear equation or just simply do 58 equals 14 plus 4x. And let's get this value. This will be 11. So 11 games can be played. Question 8. For the linear function f, b is a constant. You can see this linear function. So b is a constant. When x is 0, the value of the function is 30. What is the value of b? So you can put 30 here and 0 plus b. So b is going to be 30. D is the correct answer. Question 9. The function p gives the estimated number of marine mammals in a certain area. So this is an exponential function, this one, where t is the number of years. So t is years since a study began. What is the best interpretation of if you put in 0 in place of t, it becomes 1800 in this context. So we need the best interpretation before we dive into the options. Learn how to interpret exponential functions. So p of t is a function 1800 and this is 1.02 and t. So take notes on this one. This is the principal or the starting value. Why do you call it the starting value or the principal value? Because when you put t0, anything raised to the power 0 becomes 1. So this is the starting point. T is equal to 0 gives you 1800. So it's the function gives the estimated number. So the number of marine mammals in the start of the study was 1800, right? And another thing about this base of the exponential function is it's a 1.02. So it's kind of 102%. So it's a 2% gain each time, increasing after each year, right? So now we dive into the options. A, the estimated number of marine mammals in the area was 102 when the study began. No, the estimated number of marine mammals in the area was 1800 when the study began. This is absolutely correct, this statement. So let's look at the rest of the statements as well. See, the estimated number of marine mammals in the area increased by 102. No, it's by 2%. So the estimated number of marine mammals in the area increased by 1800. No, this is wrong as well. So B will be your correct answer. Question 10. A manager is responsible for ordering supplies for a shaved ice shop. The shop's inventory starts with 4,500 paper cups. And the manager estimates that 70 of these paper cups are used each day. Based on this estimate, in how many days will the supply of paper cups reach 1,700? So understanding these linear models is very important. It starts at 4,500 and then it reduces by 70 each day. So this is how the model looks like. And they are saying in how many days will it reach 1,700? So let's take out the graphing calculator and I can just put this 4,500 minus the 70x and put it equal to 1,700. Let's see what do we get. So this line shows me a solution of 40. So B is the correct answer. Question 11. For which of the following tables are all the values of x and their corresponding values of y solutions to the given inequality? So the inequality is given y greater than 4x plus 8. By solutions, they mean that this is some region. So which of these A, B, C, D, the coordinates given, lie in that shaded region or the desired region? Let's check the graphing calculator and see what do we get. So I can put this y greater than 4x and plus 8. So you can see there is this shaded region given over there. These are all the points which satisfy this linear inequality. So I can quickly check some of the points. Let's say to 19. Well, that is inside the region. So I can say that this is solution to the given inequality. So let's see 4 and 30. That is in the region as well. Okay, let's see. Sometime even one of the points falls outside. So you need to like quickly check. With practice, you can be quicker than me. Oh, that's great. So A is the correct answer. So just for investigation's sake, we can quickly check why B, C, D will not be the required answer. So I can just check one of these, let's say to 8. Oh, that is outside. So B is not the correct solution set. And if I put a 213, 213 is outside, so 213 belongs to both C and D, so they are incorrect as well. So A is the required answer. Question 12. Which expression is equivalent to this thing? So there are some answers, and each of the answers you see is in the expanded form. So you need to expand the brackets. First, I can take the first half of the question, which is a square. So I need to expand this double bracket, which is same since it has a power of 2. So this will become x squared into x squared will become x4 plus 11x squared and another 11x squared. So this will become 22x squared plus 11 times 11 is 121. And the second part of the question is x minus 5 and x plus 5, which you can either use identity or you can just expand and see this will be the final answer. So if I add both of these, I will get x4 plus 23x squared and plus 121 minus 25 will be 96. So B is the correct answer. Question 13. The function h is defined by, we can see this rational function. H of x equals to 8 over 5 times x plus 6. What is the value of h of 2? So I just need to substitute a 2 over here. So this will become 8 divided by 10 plus 6 is a 16. So the answer is 1/2. Question 14. The figure shows the length in inches of two sides of a right triangle. What is the area of the triangle in square inches? This figure is not drawn to scale, but I have what I need, the height and the base. So 1/2 times 5 times 3, that's the area. So this is going to be 15 divided 2. So you can give your answer as 7.5. Question 15. The graph models the number of active projects a company was working on X months after the end of November 2012. So X months after the end of November 2012. So it means this is where it all starts, where X is within 0 and 6, the domain of the given function. According to the model, what is the predicted number of active projects the company was working on at the end of November 2012? So it starts at November 2012. So 5 is the correct answer. But you got to be careful with questions like these. So maybe you can overlook and think that they're asking about the end. So by that, you might make a mistake of picking 8 as your answer. But it all started at the end of November 2012, and they are asking about what were the active projects at that time. So 5 is the correct answer. Question 16. The relationship between two variables, x and y, is linear. For every increase in the value of x by 1, the value of y increases by 8. Well, this statement tells you something about the gradient of this relationship. So you can see that each of the option in the answer space are equation of lines. So the value of the slope is the change in y divide the change in x. So it's delta y divide delta x. So you can say that if this increases by 8, this increases by 1. So I know that the slope is 8. Well, this is one way of looking at it. I can say that C should be the correct answer, but let's see what else is given there. When the value of x is 2, the value of y is 18. Well, you can do it this way as well. I've got my answer. I know C is the correct answer because that's the only one which has a slope of 8. But if you want to go a bit further, you can put the C and use this point 2 and 18 to get the value of C. If you get a 2, fine. 18 equals to 8 times 2 plus C. So C is going to be 18. Take away 16, so C is 2. So just by gradient, you could have guessed that C is the correct answer. Question 17. You can see this relation P equals to N times 19 minus C. The given equation relates the positive numbers P, N, and C. So these are all positive numbers. Which equation correctly expresses C in terms of P and N? So we are required to make C the subject of this given relation. So write this equation P equals to N times 19 minus C and try to isolate C, make this the subject. First, we can start by dividing N on both sides. This is what this equation will look like. Then we can add C to both sides. So C plus P over N will be 19. And keep an eye on the solutions as well. Now subtract P over N on both sides. And this will give you C equals to 19 minus P divide N. So D will be the correct answer. Question 18. There is a quadratic equation. Which of the following is the solution to the given equation? But the answers are in exact forms. So let's use the graphing calculator and see what we can get. So plug in this equation, x squared plus 12x and minus 40, and put it equal to 0. So you can see that one of the solution is this one, and one of the solution, they're saying which of the following is a solution. So Desmos doesn't give you exact answers, but what you can do quickly, just dive in and start plugging in. Don't wait. So I'm getting, oops, this is incorrect, A. If I check 2 root 19, it doesn't give me the answer. Root 19, no, there is no solution like this. So you get it, like D will be your correct answer, but still, you can investigate and check. Plus 2 root 19. And yes, that is one of the given solutions. D is your final answer. Question 19. The table shown summarizes the number of employees. Okay, so the data shows the number of employees at each of the 17 restaurants in a town. This is the data, the number of employees, the number of restaurants. Which of the following could be the median number of employees for the restaurant in this town? So notice this is not an ungrouped data. It's a group data where you're given some intervals and frequencies. So what do we do? How do you get median? First of all, look at the total number of restaurants. There are 17. This is odd. You can either do n over 2 or n plus 1 divide 2, depending on even and odd. So I'm going to do 17 plus 1 divide 2. I'm trying to get the middle value. So 18 divide 2. It's going to be the ninth value I'm looking for. In any group data, you can apply this idea. So first two values are within 2 and 7. Next, four values are within 8 and 13. So altogether, six values are here somewhere. So next two, so eight values are here somewhere within 2 to 19. So you are looking for the ninth value which falls in this class. So you can say this is the median class. So median can be in this class somewhere. Look for the options. A doesn't work, B doesn't work, C doesn't work. D falls within this class. So D will be your correct answer. Question 20. What is the y coordinate of the y-intercept of the graph? This in the xy plane. If you have noticed, this is a linear equation. And one way of doing this is just write it in the form y equals mx plus c, and you will find out that what is the y-intercept of the graph. But I mean, you can use calculator. Let's quickly type in the equation 3x divide 7 and equals to minus 5y divided by 9 and plus 21. So just take a look at the y-intercept of the graph, which is 0 and 37.8. So we need the y coordinate. So 37.8 is the correct answer. This is the y coordinate of the y-intercept. Question 21. You can see a parabola, the quadratic curve given. The graph of y equals 2x squared plus bx plus c is shown where b and c are constants. What is the value of bc? So we need to find these coefficients of x and the constant term. We already have the leading coefficient, the coefficient of x squared, which is a 2. So what can be done about such questions? I mean, there are lengthy approaches to solving this problem, but I'm going to be using the quicker one. So let's see, what do we have the information? I've got the x-intercept, which is the solution to this a quadratic equation. So 1, 0 is a point on the curve. There's another point, minus 3, 0. That is another solution. But look at this point. This is very interesting point, the y-intercept of the curve. So I can just use 0, minus 6, and this will quickly give me the value of c. So sub in y to be minus 6, and 0, 0, and 6. So that is c. I've got C, now I need B. So I can use any of the given points, this one either or this one to get B. So I'm using 1, 0. If I sub in 1, 0, Y will be 0. This is a 2. B is just B, minus 6. So B minus 4 is 0. So B is going to be 4. Now I can multiply these two, 4 times a negative 6, to get the value of BC. Negative 24 is the correct answer. Question 22. In 2008, Zyna earned 14% more than in 2007. So 2008 is 14% more than 2007. And in 2009, Zyna earned 4% more than in 2008. So there's 2007, 2008, and 2009. So there is some percentage increase each time. So here she's earning 14% more. So 114% is a 1.14. And in 2009, she's getting 4% more. So that's 104%, 1.04. If Zaina earned Y times as much in 2009 as in 2007, what is the value of Y? So let's suppose this is X, then this 2008 amount is going to be 1.14x. And in 2009, this will be 1.04 times a 1.14x. So this amount in 2009 is y times the amount in 2007. So yx is going to be 1.04 and times the 1.14x. Get rid of these x's and let's get this value in the calculator. So 1.04 and multiplied by 1.14. Which option works? D is the correct answer. Question 23. Circle A shown is defined by the equation this. Circle B not shown is a result of shifting circle A. So there are some transformations going on. Circle A down 6 units and increasing the radius so that the radius of the circle B is 2 times the radius of circle A. So every point in circle A is translated 6 units downwards and radius is increased by 2. Which equation defines circle B? So A, B, C, D, each of them is some circle. So first we take the center of this circle, which is negative 2 and 0, and descend it, translate it 6 units downward. So the new center is going to be minus 2 and minus 6. So get yourself familiar with the equation of circles. X minus a squared plus y minus b squared equals to r squared. AB is the center. So let's see which. Okay, so these two are incorrect. You can quickly check that minus 2, 6 is the center in this case, which is not the case. Minus 2, 6 in D as well. So ballpark these incorrect options. It can be one of these A and B. So now you know that the center distance from the circumference is the radius. This is the radius. So what's a good way to judge the radius of the existing circle A? So this is 3. So if circle A's radius is 3, circle's B radius is going to be 3 times 2. That is a 6. So in the equation of circle, you can now just write the equation of circle x plus 2 squared, y plus 6 squared equals to a 6 squared. So A is the correct answer. They have given it in a slightly different manner just to confuse you, but 4 times 9 is a 36. So A is the correct answer. Question 24. Figure not drawn to scale. Right triangle ABC is shown. What is the value of tan of A? So you can either use your calculator, which gives exact values to get this question correct. But I'm going to be giving you reference. Pause the video, go to the first page, and check. There are some special triangles given. So you'll find a triangle like this, where this is a 30, there's a 60. This is x root 3, this is x, and this is 2x. So you don't need to memorize this because it's given. So the side facing 90, the hypotenuse is a 2x. So if this is 54, x is 27. So the adjacent side is going to be 27 root 3, and the side facing the angle 30 is just going to be x, which is 27. So this is another way of quickly answering these kind of questions. So I need tan of A. So for this angle A, the opposite is going to be 27 root 3, and the adjacent is going to be 27. You can get rid of the 27s. So C is the correct answer. Question 25. At the time that an article was first featured on the homepage of a news website, there were 40 comments on the article. An exponential model, so this is an exponential model, estimates that at the end of each hour after the article was first featured on the homepage, the number of comments on the article had increased by 190% of the number of comments on the article at the end of the previous hour. Which of the following equation best represents where C is the estimated number of comments and T hours after the article was first featured on the homepage, and T is less than equal to 4. Okay, so each of the options given represent an exponential situation, and 40 comments doesn't help me much because if you put T equals to 0, each of the options give you a 40. Okay, so this is a crucial thing, 190%. So as I said earlier, get yourself familiar with the exponential model. So there is a basic amount or a principal value. Then there is some base of the function n raised to the power x, and that gives you the exponential model. So the base shows you either something has increased in some percentage or decreased in some percentage. So whatever the value was, it's now 190% more. So 100 plus 190 is a 290%. So that's a 2.90. So I know that D is the correct answer. All right. Question 26. So the table shows three values of x and their corresponding values of gx. Okay, so the table shows x and some function gx, where gx is fx divided x plus 3, and f is a linear function. So g is a rational function, but f is a linear function. What is the y-intercept of the graph of y equals f of x in the xy plane? Now, the problem with these kind of questions is that you do not know what are the set of points on f of x. So you need to work this out this way, that f of x can be g of x and times x plus 3. So let's quickly get the points on the graph f of x. So you have your calculators, you can use that to quickly judge these values. So what will be when gx is 3, x is negative 27 plus 3. So this will give you the value of f of x when x is a negative 27. So let's get it 3 times a negative 24. And you don't need to do the mental math. You can just do 3 times a negative 24, and that will give you a negative 72. So I know this is negative 72. Okay, and similarly, if I put 0, oh, this is a good one. If you put gx is 0, then 0 times something, x plus 3, whatever the value is, I mean, that was a negative 9, but I know the answer is going to be 0. So that's all you need. You just need 2 points on uh, to get an equation of the straight line. So I'll show you now how to get the equation of straight line in Desmos. So you got to be careful with this. First, you will add a table. Okay, so this shows me x1 and y1. So if this is a negative 27, the y1 value is going to be a negative 72. And similarly, the next one is a negative 9, and this shows me a 0. Okay, so I know the equation of straight line is y equals mx plus c, but instead I will put y1. And instead of the equal sign, now go to ABC and press this symbol because this is going to approximate the equation of line. Okay, so instead of m, I'm going to be putting let's say the symbol M and 1. Just press M and 1. You might be thinking, how am I getting this Y1 and M1? Because the table shows me X1 and Y1, so I'm putting these. Put not X, but X1 and put a plus and the alphabet C. So let's see, guys. This is how you can get equations of straight line. So I know that M1 is 4, the gradient is 4, and C is 36. So my y-intercept is 36, so A is the correct answer. Question 27. In triangle ABC, angle C is right angled and BC is 162. Okay, let's make a rough right triangle like A and call this C since C is right angle and this is B. And BC is 162. Point D on the side AB is connected by a line segment with E on the side AC. There is some point D here and E is here on the AC such that the line segment DE is parallel to BC. Okay, so I know that E is going to be here somewhere and these sides are parallel. CE is a double of AE. That means that if this is, let's say, X, this is going to be 2X. What is the length of the line segment? DE. So the key idea here is similar triangles. You know that in similar triangles, the ratio of the corresponding sides of the smaller triangle, the bigger triangle are same. So whatever is the ratio of x to 3x, so 1:3, since this is a 3x, is going to be equal to DE's ratio with 162. Cross multiplies 162 divide 3 is going to be DE. So this will be 5 and 4. So 54 is the correct answer. And that brings us to the end of Math Module 1 for Digital SAT Practice Test 6. If you haven't seen it yet, I've already solved Math Module 2. Check that out. The link I'll share in the description. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more walkthroughs, tips, and especially Desmos hacks. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video. This is Global Math Mentor, over and out.